Hello and welcome as it is the 17th day of October 2019. My name is Derek and let's take a look at GoChain, but in particular the actual wallet. And these wallets with all the coins have stuff like this, where you have, in this case, an address hash, public key, and these wallets will tell you a lot. There's a lot of things they won't tell you. One of the things they don't tell you is the private key. But one of the things they do tell you is a public key. And all you can do with the public key is really a couple things. One, check out stuff like this, see the transactions that come in and out, balances, as well as send funds to it. You can't take any funds from it. You need the private key only to take funds from it. So you're not going to be able to see that here. And then the QR code, I don't do much with that, but I understand it. I've never ever once in my life dealt with a crypto transaction in any form on a cell phone ever. I know at some point I probably will, but I don't know when and I don't know how and I don't know where and yeah. Anyway, there's other things that it doesn't tell you as well is that I'm in the market for a computer, probably Windows XP. The best that I can get, decent hard drive amount of space, and we're looking at a computer made probably around 2006, 7. The best that I can get. Why do I want that? Well, one of my favorite video games, two of them really. One of them was made in 1999, 2000 ish or so. Another was like 2004, 2005, and that's just the best place to play it. So I'll buy it for those two video games. But another thing is, where do I store my private key? Three different spots, but a fourth would be that computer. Of course, that's because I'm very good, especially with once that's when it was stopping to get easy for me to use computers, like really easy, like on advanced levels. As I did a bunch of computer courses and just did a lot of stuff in the 1990s. I was pretty techno advanced compared to today, big time back then. But as far as having private keys so that only the best computer hackers could probably find them on there if they even could, I know how to do that with, especially with I wouldn't know how to do it as well with these ones, but I know exactly back how to work with the Windows up to I think it was like stuff that I was using like around the middle part of the last decade, around 205, 206 time frame. But the game that I remember playing that I love the most, I remember playing it in 2003 and 4. So 2004, I think the game would have came out in. Well, good. I remember playing the new one. So the last one came out in 2004. So I need a computer for backwardation purposes. Anyway, that's like totally different. That's another place to put private keys. Other spots I got written down on paper somewhere hidden. I got on a USB drive, but I don't have it on any of my other two computers. So anyway, let's take a look at these transactions. Let's assume I didn't know who this person was. I looked at this. Okay, well, let's just try to make sense of this. We have a bunch of negatives here, a positive here, 15,000, then a bunch come out, decent amount of buys in here. Let's try to make sense of it. And you won't be able to make sense of this because really what this was in here was adding to the portfolio. I just added stakes to it. That's what this meant. But as far as everything else, let's go back in here. So we got the date in here, which is September the 7th. And you noticed all the negatives, 0.99. When you see that, you know it's coming from the exchange. When they're getting 0.99 back. I mean, especially when you know there's no decimals on the Binance exchange. So in here, this one here. Oh, where was the 0.334? Well, that was the Bittrex exchange. This was the Binance exchange. We'll get to that as we go in order here. So let's start off with this one, which is September the 7th at 7:44 a.m. Eastern Time. One of the things you're going to notice is that I get up usually before 8 or between 7:30 and 8:30. That's my wake up time. And a lot of times I do a lot of Go stuff in the morning. So 7:44, September the 7th. Well, let's take a look at what it looked like. And September the 7th is back in here. So let's just take a look. This is the hour time frame. So it's September 7th at 7:74. Well, the market went up. So obviously that would have been selling some. And then on the 10th of September at 8:28, I did the same thing, 2222. So let's take a look at 8 o'clock in the morning on September the 10th. And we can see here that it was up, but it was up from in here. So again, I mean, I did it like 8 o'clock as it went up. It went up again. We can see it went up at 1600 hours September 10th. Is there any communication to that? Well, 1600 hours September 10th. Yeah, there is. And then again, September the 11th at 5:16. I got up really early that morning. September the 11th at 5 in the morning. It's not rare. I must have had an appointment that day. That's the only reason it makes sense. Because I haven't woke up early naturally in a long time. So I had an appointment that day of something. But the obviously I got in on that high level. And then plus 14,000 September 14th in the morning, 8:45. What would that mean? Well, that would have probably meant housekeeping. And might have happened that morning as other coins I was ratio. And you couldn't know this by looking at this, at the numbers in here. But what most likely also happened is I had at least one ratio trade of one of the other coins that went up, with this one just staying afloat. So that would have been enough to get a buyback because I would have traded this almost everything when it went up like this. I would have all my crossings that I have sell, 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 and then all the buybacks would have happened. But when I buy back, I'm not going to always just end up depositing it instantly. I'll put a seller in sometimes, and if there's a bid in there, like for example, at 113,000, if I buy 4,000, 3,000, probably might not. I might just hold it and then just see what happens. If the number gets big enough, yeah, I'll withdraw. Because it only takes like a couple minutes to get it on the exchange anyway to be able to sell. So that's what happened on that one. And then we have two negatives or more, no, three negatives in a row. 6, 4, and then 14,000. That was a good sizer. So let's take a look at it. It was September 19th at 8:47. Then again at 9:30. So obviously the market went up and went up some more. That's what you can tell on that because if that's what's going on here, I'm obviously using them to sell when the market goes higher. So let's take a look at September 19th in the morning. Again, we can see it's after I wake up, and there we go. We can see it goes all the way up to this high point, and then it retraces back. So I would have had all the sales. I would have been buying back like right around here. I would have been totally buying back. And I obviously didn't. We can see September 22nd in the morning. Again, 14,000 more taken out. Well, what would have happened was what I bought back, I wouldn't have deposited. So I would have first sold those coins. And then I'm like, okay, I guess I got to sell some more. So I would have ran out. So I didn't deposit into my account what I bought back in this morning. I definitely would have. That's a guarantee. So I would have bought back. Well, we can see in here that I would have had 10,000. So I would have easily bought back more than 10,000, and then I sold 14. You can see how the sum of these numbers are pretty close to about the same. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll even leave a couple 3,000 back just for a sell order. Not always, but in this case here, and I end up. Well, we can see. Well, let's just take a look at September 22nd, September 24th. So there's September 22nd, September 24th. Well, the market was down. So what time did I do this at? I did this at in the afternoon, 1600. Well, what happened at 1600 on 24? This is what happened. 1500 hours, it went to the bottom. And then I would have realized that all my buys are done. I probably would have bought, not just, I wouldn't have bought in the 16 hour. I probably would have bought as a buyer on the 15 hour as it was going lower. And then as it stopped going lower, I'm like, okay, I guess it's the play is over. Let's end up depositing or withdrawing it out of the exchange. Now here, did I sell when it went to a 111 on September 26th? The answer was yes, 8:17 in the morning. And 8:17 in the morning, that's wake up time. Price action was up at this 108, 109. I probably would have got in on it because again it's only 2 minutes, so I would have got the sale. Then it would have went down right after that. I mean, I don't know that's going to happen. I just knew it was time to do it. So this we get to those big ones here, and this is something like when you look at this is where you might be able to tell that this was some sort of distribution, because you could say, okay, well this would have came from whichever exchange, and then you could have figured, okay, that's like Bittrex. That's something that would have been the case. But this happened, we can see 2,300 hours on September 27th, 0 hours on September 28th. So I accumulated from two different sites because I added more crossings that day. So September 27th, 28th, market. So at the end of the day, it would have looked like something. So I would have been looking at it like this at the time. And I'm coming to realize, I think this thing is going to have a nice pump higher. So I thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and buy. I probably would have bought around the 109, 110 number, and so on. So that's what that was. And then we can see minus 7,500 on the September 28th, and that's at 11 o'clock. So September 28th at 11, we can see up to this top. It would have just been, probably would have been like waiting just for that number to hit here because obviously, well, 115, it would have pulled back to 111, so I would have bought like 116, 117 probably amongst that situation. And then the 30th at 1900 hours. What would have happened there probably would have been another housekeeping situation and or trading at this time with another cross. Because this is where I would have done my buying, and here we can see that 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock I would have woke up to buying this, but I wouldn't have deposited in there until, well, what probably would have happened, what makes sense to me, is I probably would have bought first in the morning, then I would have bought again or something, or another coin that I was waiting for went up at that time in the afternoon. That's another one that could happen. But I only gained 62 on it, but there's probably more to it than that as well. As again, there's always miscellaneous other trades. I can hold some back. It can, you can't. There's no way of seeing my Binance balance, which is a good thing because my Binance balance is in their accounts, and they're being the Binance accounts with the hot wallets, cold wallets, and all that type of stuff that they have. October the 1st, we can see three withdrawals in a row. Two, all of them on the same day, 8:37, 9:37, and 1600 hours. So what happened on October the 1st to do that? We'll see. Well, there's the move. So at 8 o'clock, the market was up to breaking above 120. Then we can see here at 1600 hours, it was breaking above 125. And then October the 6th, 5 days later, 9:30 in the morning, I added 10,000 more coins to my account. And 9:30 on October the 6th, let's take a look at that. So it was one of those times. Makes most of that sense that other coins were going up because this thing really didn't go down too much. So from the selling in here, if it only went down like 70%, the only thing that could have happened there is other altcoins like the Thetas and the well, I got six, at this point there's six crossings. Litecoins, there's like a bunch of them. Sky was probably the big one that was doing it. That was making me buy. So Sky was probably going up that day, and you can't tell that from this because you don't know what I'm ratio trading this against. In fact, you wouldn't even think I'd be ratio trading. You'd think I'm trading against Bitcoin or something, or Ethereum maybe. And even Ethereum, they don't have a cross. It's Binance Coin. No, well, if you look at the Binance exchange, it is so dry. No, it's only the only exchange that Binance or hey, yeah, Binance has is that's worth trading is Bitcoin. So yeah, so what day are we talking here? We're talking um, yeah, October 6th. So then October 7th and October the yeah that day at 8:57 and 9:11 there's two withdrawals. You can see right here in the morning it goes up to 138. Okay, so it's time to sell. And then we have October the 9th at 11 in the morning. Oh, this is 10 in the morning. I wonder what I did. Okay, so moving on. Let's do October the 10th. I withdrew just a small amount, 2,600. October the 10th at 8 o'clock, which is up in here, about 127. Obviously, I would have been probably looking. I probably would have withdrawn more if it went to 135 or 136. This probably didn't go high enough for me to sell more. Obviously, that's the only thing that makes sense there. And then we've got the last three. 3 days ago, October 14th at nighttime, 7,500. So October 14th. So this was a spot where it would have been buybacks, other coins going up, and it would have been a housekeeping. And I can remember this one. This wasn't that long ago. This was a housekeeping deal. I'm like, okay, I got so much time to withdraw. And then yesterday at 9:24 a.m., which is 16, you can see, oh, this happened. Yeah, I bought down there, and then I did some more. And then today at 1300 hours, well, this was definitely a case. I had two transactions today because other coins went up. And one I was waiting for I was trying to trade one yesterday morning in here with uh, Tezos, and I missed it. And then this thing went up, and then Tezos had a nice little small push, and I was like just waiting for a couple percent, but I got that, and I think I would have got another one too. Which one was it? Some other coin I traded against as well too earlier today, because other coins are going up today. But of course, right now, Go Chain is not. So again, just going over things like this. Just I find it fascinating how like this is just pretty cool. How transparency and how things like this can work. And also, when you look at the rich list on here, what I think is very interesting of note is when I first found the account for where this person's got multiple accounts, and there's another account they have which is what basically like me, obviously at a more aggressive level, obviously big time and so many folds more aggressive, where you see their funds coming in and out of Binance. Usually on average they make 9-10 withdrawals deposits a day or something. It's sick, but you know what, they're big. I mean, you're playing it massively. And amongst it, when the early and because other things are going on, mainly with things like DraftKings and other sports action. I've just set a lot of it aside. But one of my first things that I noticed is they're pretty much doing the exact same thing as me. What I showed you is pretty much what I seen for the most part. A couple were kind of confusing, and I could see, okay, I can see how that just it just makes sense that they do the exact same thing. But given that their main ownership keeps on going higher, to me, this is a sign that they're going to they're basically going to work towards pumping this up. 8 days ago, they put in 10 million more. 15 days ago, they put in four. That's all they keep doing. You can see this here is like leaving, or this is transaction. If it's in like this, that means it's coming in. This is coming out. And the last time it went out was May the 29th at 5 months ago, 89 million of them. And then coming in is like five, six, four, like just a half about 5 million on average. Average transaction comes in. So big ones going out, and then okay sizes at least for this stake. And this has got to be like the owner of this coin, really. What else can it be? It's not just some average Joe that is like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and own more than 35% of the entire supply. I mean, this is just one wallet. Now you got to figure other wallets this person has. I know the other big one, but there's got to be one with Bittrex that I haven't found as well. And then you also have the ones which, well, just the one total. So it's who else would have it? Just I'm gonna go in there and buy like 40% of the supply. Yeah, I'm gonna stick of Binance supply. They're always gonna have so much here and there on Binance. Obviously, when you're selling and you say, oh my goodness, obviously they have a whole bunch of buy and sell orders. So you got to think that they have wallets for their Bitcoin, back and forth going in and out just the same way as they would within this. And when you're playing with these kinds of stakes, paying 50,000 Satoshi Bitcoin fees isn't so bad, I would presume. I mean, it'd be easily handleable. But I don't know what those wallets would be. Just like you on my end, don't know what I'm trading my coins against and what I'm doing with it on the other side. Because you'd have no idea that I'm looking to trade this against Sky and Go and all, or there's Go, Sky and Tezos and Theta and Litecoin and all the other ones. You'd have no idea about that by looking at it. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.